Hey guys, Mental Health Watchdog here, and I collaborate with Citizens Commission on Human Rights in investigating and exposing psychiatric abuses and other human rights violations in the mental health field. CCHR is a nonprofit, non-political, and non-religious mental health watchdog organization with offices all around the world since it was founded in 1969. Co-founded, actually, by a psychiatrist, Dr. Thomas Szasz. Now, if you're asking, why would the mental health system need a watchdog? Well, there are plenty of reasons, and I'm going to cover just one of those right now. This is for all the parents, teachers, nannies, counselors, and anyone else who loves children and realizes they are our future. The following information is important about the health and sanity of all children. Thanks to psychiatry and the mental health system, childhood has evolved into now being a mental disorder. Okay, let me explain that during comment. A child's behavior pattern has been reevaluated by this system, and practically every behavioral trait has been psychiatrically sectioned off and given a label. And, you will see as I further elaborate, this leads to further and bigger problems. Now, if you think this is nothing more than a slanderous statement, I invite you to just look at what's actually going on in this system, particularly with children. And you may be shocked at what you find. Times have changed over the past few decades. Used to be a child had the freedom to be and act like a child. Children are not adults. They are growing and evolving. They're a work in progress. They get excited easily. They cry. They scream. They throw tantrums, laugh hysterically, run purposelessly, talk profusely, or shut up entirely. They're either in your face or they're off hiding somewhere in their rooms. That's just how children are. Each one of them is unique. And then before you know it, puberty. And the gamut of emotions that accompany this illustrious chapter of human life is practically limitless. But enduring this rough terrain, they eventually arrive at the other end, adulthood. This whole evolution can really mess with a kid's head. But it is a finite condition, and everybody goes through it. Well, within the last 50 or so years, the mental health system and pharmaceutical companies have joined forces and, isolating all these phenomena of growing up as mentally unstable, have turned childhood into a very lucrative farm to harvest. Okay, another strong statement. I'd better be able to back that one up, right? Well, here we go. Let me ask you this. Has your child ever had a mental health screening or been evaluated by a psychiatrist or a psychologist? Have you been told he or she is not acting correctly in school or otherwise? Has your child ever been diagnosed with a mental disorder or two? And has your child ever been prescribed medication to correct this disorder or to correct any other apparent mental health issue? Or if not your children, your grandchildren, nieces, nephews, kids of friends? Well, this is how it starts. Those quirky behavioral traits are isolated and given a label or disorder by a psychiatrist, who in turn prescribes one or more medicines to quote-unquote correct it. How long will this medicinal correction take? Well, it could go on and on and on. And these meds could lead to other drugs, legal and illegal, if you know what I'm saying. Now, before I go on, I want to make it very clear that I am not a doctor or even a medical student, nor is this information to be taken as medical advice. I am simply a concerned citizen who has done ample research and has observed wrongdoings in the mental health system. And I'm here to report what I found. And I would be satisfied if by doing so, I've at least awakened your desire to question these diagnoses rather than to just blindly follow through with them. Let me give you some information I've discovered on how the mental health system is treating children. The side effects of the medications most often prescribed are extensive and usually worse than your child's original symptoms. If this is hard to swallow, Google the name of the drug plus side effects and look at them, all of them. Those side effects are not listed because of the pharmaceutical companies thought it would increase sales. These are listed to protect themselves from potential lawsuits. They're posted for legal reasons, or believe me, they wouldn't be posted. Makes you think now, doesn't it? Also, the longer you remain on a particular drug, the higher the possibility you'll experience more and more of the posted side effects of that drug. Over 20 million children have been labeled mentally ill and drugged for mental disorders that are simply based on checklists of behaviors. There are no blood tests, brain scans, chemical imbalance tests, x-rays, or genetic factors to prove any child has a mental illness such as ADD or ADHD. Ritalin, a common ADHD drug, is in the same family as cocaine. In fact, it actually has been given the nickname kiddie cocaine. 61 international drug regulatory agencies have issued warnings on stimulants like Ritalin, causing depression, insomnia, mania, psychosis, heart problems, stroke, and sudden death. 151 drug regulatory warnings from 279 studies have been issued on antidepressants, including hallucinations, aggression, hostility, violence, homicidal ideation, and suicide. Now, after all this, and this is not even all of it, these drugs are still being prescribed to children, mainly because the parents or guardians aren't being fully informed of their dangers. It is the parents' right to have full information about any drugs being prescribed to their children. And these drugs aren't cheap. Per drugs.com, you'll pay an average of $78 for a supply of 100 Ritalin tablets. Heck, a bottle of 100 Tylenol is only about $13 at CVS. Now, if you multiply that by the number of kids on these meds around the world, the lucrative part becomes more clear now, doesn't it? And the quote-unquote behavioral quirks of these children, are they actually mental disorders? Could there be other physiological explanations for them? Well, let's take a look at some possibilities. Have you checked the child's diet to find out how they react to certain foods they eat? A good nutritionist can accurately do that, and that's cheaper than any psychiatrist. It may take an extensive examination, but worth every penny. And in most cases, you improve your child's diet, you improve his behavior. Is your child getting enough sleep? Sufficient rest always contributes to a saner child. Is he watching too much television? Does he stare at his phone for long lengths of time? Fixing attention on a screen for extended periods pulls a child chronically out of the present and can give him that glassy-eyed, dazed look. Does he get enough space? I mean, does he go outside and experience life? Breathe the air and exercise? If he's always indoors, he can feel closed in and introverted. It's always therapeutic to just go outside and look out. Are there conflicts within the home or in the school? Is he being bullied? Is his environment turbulent? A child's behavior can become erratic if his personal environment is unstable and threatening. And does your child have a pet? I thought I'd throw this one in. Having a pet always makes a child happier. Plus, it can improve his responsibility level if he's given the task of walking him and cleaning up after him. These are all factors to thoroughly check before you start them on a regular dosage of mind-altering medication. And drugs in general are never beneficial for the body in the long run. They have their use in treating injuries and diseases and can be a godsend in some cases, but long-term drug usage can do much more harm than good, especially when regularly taken during the child's formative stages, which is somewhere between 0 years and well into his teens or young adult. The safe attitude about these prescription meds is to just be very smart about it. Ask questions. Get them answered to your satisfaction. Get well informed and be good at spotting things that just don't add up. Get second and even third opinions. Don't just blindly trust a psychiatrist just because he has a diploma or two above his desk, or anyone else for that matter. Always be willing to research yourself and get the facts, especially when it comes to decisions about your child's health and sanity. I'm sure you already know this. Just take this as a reminder. Love and help children. They're our future. Let's take good care of them. And let's do something if it's observed that they aren't being taken good care of. And on a broader note, if you or anyone you know has been abused by a psychiatrist or psychologist in any way, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, financially, report it to CCHR. If you've witnessed human rights violations in a mental health facility or by a psychiatrist or psychologist and wish to confidentially report them, contact CCHR. The number to call is 800-330-7290. That's 800-330-7290. The email address is abuse@cchrSiliconValley.org. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button at the bottom there and comment if you'd like or ask any questions. I'd be glad to answer them. I'm the Mental Health Watchdog. Stay alive and healthy, love and help children, and catch you later.
What?